Hello, everyone. Welcome to AI and Instructional Design by yours truly, Anitra Thompson. So, in the presentation today, I'll explore how artificial intelligence is reshaping instructional design. I'll also go through and look at how AI actually changes workflow and decision making. And then lastly, I'll walk through some real examples like ChatGPT, Canva AI, and then my workplace Engage. We'll even go to their online learning platform, MindTap, and discuss how that has impacted my work. So, AI matters for instructional design because it's not just speeding things up per se, it's changing how we approach the entire design process. So, traditionally, designers spent a lot of time building materials manually and revising them over that time, too. So, now AI can actually assist with drafting content, suggesting ideas, and even analyzing like learner patterns as well. So because of this, instructional design becomes less about producing every individual piece and more about guiding the overall learner experience. And designers shift toward alignment, accessibility, and evaluating whether AI generated content truly supports the learning goals. And AI doesn't really replace instructional design. Instead, it really changes where our efforts go. So, moving toward strategy, more refinement, and then I would say probably learner decision making as well. And one of the biggest impacts of AI is how it changes the role of instructional designers. So instead of focusing mostly on writing content from scratch, designers become learning strategists. So we evaluate AI suggestions, we refine ideas, and then decide what actually supports meaningful learning. So, for example, tools like ChatGPT can generate drafts or activity ideas quickly, but the designer determines whether those ideas align with objectives and learner needs. AI also encourages designers to think more about personalization. So, with adaptive systems and all these analytics, design starts to include multiple learning pathways instead of just like that one static experience there. So, the shift isn't about replacement, it's about elevation. So, AI handles some of the repetitive tasks, allowing designers time to focus on structure, clarity, and improving the overall learning experience. One example of AI's impact is ChatGPT, like I said. So, and that is as kind of like a designing partner. We'll look at it as a partner. So instead of starting from a blank page, designers can use AI to brainstorm ideas, outline lessons, and clarify instructions a little bit. So this shifts instructional design toward iteration rather than the initial creation. The designer still guides alignment and quality, but AI helps accelerate the early stages of development. And speaking of, I specifically use this, but Canva AI highlights how AI actually transforms the development stage of instructional design. So, designers can quickly generate like little visual layouts and even experiment with like all kinds of multimedia formats without needing like those advanced skills. We're not getting into Photoshop and putting these things together anymore. So, this allows more time to focus on instructional clarity rather than like that technical production. And AI also helps maintain that consistency across the visuals, which I would say supports accessibility and learner engagement. And AI isn't just changing design tools, it's also becoming embedded directly into learning platforms. And my workplace, Cengage, who's a textbook publishing company, they have a learning platform called MindTap. And we have incorporated all kinds of AI programs or just little bits of AI throughout our products just within like this year alone. There was two that showed up. So that would be the student assistant and instructor assistant. Those just came out here within the past year. The instructor assistant is actually just now being launched. It got announced in January of this year. So it's exciting to actually dive into this and see that our company is taking this head first. But within Cengage's learning platform, MindTap, as I said, the first thing I want to bring up is the student assistant. And this provides structured support that guides learners through the content without simply giving them the answers. And this changes how designers think about scaffolding because support is built into the environment itself. So the student assistant is also fully built off of like the specific Cengage product content, so the textbook content, instead of like outsourcing. So that eliminates, looking for accuracy issues and things like that. You might find a few just because of our product team, but most of the time it'll at least be based off their textbook. And then moving on to the instructor assistant, this feature actually provides like AI generated insights about performance and engagement. And then it goes into like the different trends. And it also helps instructors and designers make those little like informed adjustments to their assignments or even to the way their learning platform looks. So, I, one thing that I know that the instructor assistant does is it can deeply dive into student analytics. So, what I mean by that is it can look at a full assignment and how they did. It can even go into the question, each specific question, and tell them how long they spent on it, if they thought they struggled with it, and different things like that. So it does give very detailed analytics. And lastly, we have a little program called Bongo where students submit video assignments. And that's actually AI supported because it gives feedback. And that really shapes performance-based assessments. So, for example, when students are given their video presentations, um, and the AI can actually go in and will give it a rubric. The instructor can give it a rubric or anything like that, and it'll base its feedback right off of that in real time. You can even watch the video. It'll tell you if the student is pausing too much, if they use too many or too many likes. So it really does go into a lot of detail here, and it's changed so much about how our instructors see um, our learning platforms. And together, I would say that all these features show how AI impacts the entire instructional ecosystem. So from learner support all the way to instructional design making. And across these examples, AI supports efficiency and personalization while helping designers respond more quickly to learner needs. So instead of replacing expertise, AI expands what instructional designers are able to accomplish within that like limited time frame. Now, despite its benefits, AI introduces a lot of important challenges as well. So, designers must verify the accuracy. They have to consider ethical implications and ensure that AI supports learning rather than replacing that meaningful engagement. And although it is very helpful, we do see a lot of challenges, even just looking up how to um, deter students from cheating, using AI. And this really is just more so like thoughtful implementation, and it remains essential, like Wiley said. So, as AI evolves, instructional designers will increasingly guide how AI is used rather than simply producing that content. The human role becomes even more important in maintaining alignment, inclusivity, and quality as well. We don't want to take the humanity out of everything, out of instructional design. We want to leave some of that in there for sure. And lastly, I'll finish with my key takeaways here. So, the first one, AI is reshaping instructional design by changing workflows, expanding creative possibilities, and supporting learners in a lot of new and different ways. However, human judgment remains central to creating all this meaningful learning experiences. So we definitely need to be intentional with what we produce and what we use AI for. Like we said, these tools are going to be supportive. We're not getting replaced here. All right, you all. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. And here are my references. And of course, as always, you can go to my website and see these references listed in our slide presentation and click on the links if you need to. Thanks.